Okay, welcome everybody to our every other Thursday night call for the Rockin Group. Um, it is July 11th. We're in the heat of the summer, and we are so glad that you joined us this evening. I have a special guest, Marisa Jennings, and Marisa is going to share with us, and I'm going to ask her some questions, and she's going to share with us. I'm going to tell you a little bit about her. Marisa is a Super Silver ambassador, and I don't know exactly, Marisa, you're going to have to unmute yourself. I don't know exactly. I think you've been an ambassador for 4 or 5 years.
2015, I think is when I started.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, here we go. No, this is going to be the funniest video because this fan is not working. Okay, here we go. All right, we're good.
Okay, so Marisa's been an ambassador for 4 years, at least, over 4 years. And Marisa started out working her business, and then I'll let her tell you her story. But Marisa's always been passionate about the products. She's always been a faithful user of the products. And she has recently expressed to me, probably a month or more ago, that she is reigniting her team. She is restarting her business with a huge bang, and she is taking no prisoners. And she is passionate about starting her business. And so restarting her business. And so the reason why I wanted to have Marisa on the call is because a lot of times we have people on the call that are gold or senior gold or ruby or jewel, and sometimes it's hard if you're just starting your business, or if you're like Marisa and you've been an ambassador for a while and you haven't ranked up more than either, maybe you haven't signed anybody, or maybe you're a silver. You maybe have a harder time relating to somebody who's already been there and done that. And so Marisa is somebody I thought that everyone can relate to. She is going to share with us some really great things that she's doing to regrow her business. And I thought it would be great to have somebody that is in the midst of that and is very, very passionate about that. So before Marisa gets started, because I want to let Marisa kind of tell a short version of her story from when she signed up and up until now. But I want to tell you just a few things before we get started. There's a lot of excitement with Plexus right now. There's a lot of things going on this summer. There's the new products with Balance and Active that we've just released within the last few weeks. If you have not tried Active yet, it is phenomenal, especially with the Slim mixed with it. I think it's magic. It's awesome. The Balance is great. The Balance is going to eventually replace Block. Balance is a much better, more highly scientific carb blocker with all new, not all new ingredients, but state-of-the-art ingredients that have just recently come out. And the science behind the Balance is amazing. I just started Balance myself last Monday, and what I can tell you about Balance, I haven't had enough time to actually experience what the results are. But one thing that's absolutely great is that I could never take the Block before. The Block just completely constipated me for, TMI, but we always, with Plexus, we talk about that, right? So I am a high BioCleanse user. I use up to 6 BioCleanse a night. I'm the most stubborn intestinal tract ever. But with Block, it would make me so blocked up that I couldn't even take the product. So I could never even, there's people that love the Block, and I always would envy them because I wanted to use the Block, but I just couldn't because of that. The Balance does not do that. So if you ever had a problem with Block doing that, you're going to really love Balance because it does the opposite, and I'm actually able to go down on my BioCleanse down to 4. So that's really great. So we've got these 2 brand new products, super exciting. There's There's so much training coming out. If you don't know who Genevieve is yet, she is our trainer at corporate. She's amazing. After the call, when we do the after the call post, I'm going to put a link to the training calendar so that you can have that. You can print it out. You can keep it on your computer screen so that you can see what training is coming up. There's a lot of trainings that are coming out every single week, several times a week. And the main reason for this call that I want to talk to you about and that Marisa will talk to you about is the not getting overwhelmed, because there is so much out there to absorb. There is so much training out there. We've got the Bob Heilig, the free thing that's coming up next Monday. If you don't know about that, we can post the link of that in the comments too. It's in the Rockin group. All the stuff is in the Rockin group. My advice to you on all of this is to use time blocking, organize your time. Marisa's going to have her own advice of what she does. But I would say keep a log of what you want your work hours to be. And in that, put what time you're going to do your training, but also put what time you're going to do your action. And so Bob Heilig has been really preaching a lot lately about how you should take more action than you do training. So he said, you know, what people need right now is they need to take action. There's all the training in the world out there for you right now. If you're not on the Plexus Ambassador training page, community page, that's where you need to go, and everything is on there. All the announcements, everything is in that group, and we can put the link for that too. I hope everybody that's on this call is already in that group. But it's so important not to get overwhelmed, because you've got all this training that you can partake in, but if you do all this training but you don't take action, it's not going to do you any good. So you have to make purposeful action steps, and Marisa's going to talk to you about that. But I just want to say really quick, the incentives for this month: you get the free pair of Nikes if you sign up 6 people, or you get $200. They've added the $200 cash option, which I absolutely love. There's no limit to that. So if you sign up 12 level ones with a welcome pack, you get $400 cash. You also need to make sure you have $130 in PV. Make sure you have that if you're going for the Nikes or the cash option. We have free shipping right now. I posted that in the Rockin group. There's free shipping with $130 in PV. Whether that's a subscription or a discretionary order, you will need to put in the code SHIP FREE in capital letters to get the free shipping. That's exciting. I love that. I love that it's on subscriptions, and I love that we can get that all month long for free. That's a major savings right now. Convention, I think the early convention registration ends today, if I'm not mistaken, at maybe 11 o'clock Central Time. Take advantage of that. It's going to be in Nashville. It's next June. Everyone should be registered for that. Leaders Retreat is coming up in October. That's going to be in San Diego. If you are going for Leaders Retreat in any way, shape, or form, make sure you're in our chat group. If you're not in our chat group, you need to message me or message Rod or Marisa. Ask to be added to the chat group, because we have a chat group that's all about Leaders Retreat and encouraging. It's not like a chit chat group that goes all day long. It's more for like victories. I did this today. I reached out to 10 people today. I signed up a person. Whatever that is that you've had victories on, we have a chat for that. And this is the greatest thing that I need you guys to really remember, is that there are going to be 3 codes that your new ambassadors get emails for 3 signups for free. That is so important. They can go silver when they first sign up with these codes. They're going to get the email. So people don't understand this when they sign up. You have to be the one to tell them what these codes mean and how they can use those codes. And I think Marisa will talk more about that. Okay, I just want a reminder of all those things before Marisa starts. But Marisa lives in Houston. Marisa is a very good friend of mine. She is an amazing person, and I love her dearly. But Marisa, tell us about your Plexus journey.
Okay, so hi everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. And for those of you, there are a lot of you that I invited that I haven't talked to you in forever. And I just felt like, you were on my journey when I first started. And, and so I just felt like, it just felt right to just, have this moment on Jana's show. I was telling her I felt really privileged to be on here. Even though, we talk all the time and stuff, it just feels like an honor to be here, share with y'all what I've been doing and how hopefully it will help you. And so the way I started was my pastor and his wife approached me and told me about, Plexus products and stuff, and they knew that I would appreciate anything that was plant-based because I, was vegan for 10 years at the time when they approached me. I had a 75% raw diet. I juiced 50 pounds of carrots and a bunch of different vegetables and fruits at the time. And that was just my lifestyle. And so they just thought I would really appreciate it. But I did not believe in supplements because I just knew that whatever my body needed, that I could give it what it needed. I had, learned so much and studied so much on the subject of nutrition and diet and lifestyle that I just knew that I didn't need any kind of supplements. Plus, what I had read about supplements was not all that great. But of course, they weren't plant-based supplements, right? So I wasn't used to hearing about anything that was, of course, we have a lot of herbs out there and stuff, but none of them like Plexus. And so for 8 months, they kept coming at me about the products and stuff. But I would say for about a year before that happened, I had been just really praying to the Lord, but not just praying, but just really crying out to the Lord. I wanted the products. My husband was suffering from a lot of chronic back pain for so many years, so many years, and it was just really debilitating. And then my son, was having seizures at the time and had a lot of anxiety and stuff. And so I just really wanted something that wasn't going to be chemical based, and I didn't want them to have to be on medication, prescription medication. But of course, I just prayed about that. And so finally, I decided to go one of the meetings. And, remember Rachel Hart? She was, her and Andrew. And he had a heart attack and stuff. And so they had a great testimony about him, with the pain being relieved from trying the Plexus products and from the ease in the nerve. And so that really caught my attention because he was having seizures and he was in a lot of pain. And that's exactly what I was praying about. So, of course, I was like, okay. So I went maybe 2 more times to the event and just decided that I was going to check into the ingredients just a little bit more because it was really touching my heart. And I was like, okay. So I checked into the ingredients. I was extremely impressed by the ingredients. There was nothing in there that I saw that was going to be detrimental to our body. And it was actually ingredients that would feed your cells to help your body do what your body needs to do. Because, if you give your body what it needs, well, it's going to take care of that. And God, when he created from the very beginning of time the Garden of Eden, he put everything plant-based in there that our body was going to need. And so it transcends into today. So needless to say, I was still a little nervous about it, though. Even though I was so impressed, I thought, this is way too good to be true. So I took it to my naturopath. And my naturopath loved the ingredients in it, thought that they were great. He even tested me on it, tested the products on me. They were a perfect, balance for my body. It's exactly what my body needed. And so I got the A-OK. My mother started it, and then I tried it, and the pink drink, and it just went from there. So the products were not even for myself. I did not have any interest in it. I just wanted to get an approval for them. But then, there was all this wonderful testimony about how great it tasted and how great it was working. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll try it myself. So I did. And that was it for me. And then a month and a half into the pink drink, it was just the pink drink at the time for me. I wasn't on BioCleanse yet. I wasn't on the ProBio. And I had told our youth pastor that I worked at the church. I had a productive day. My day was so, focused and on point, and I didn't have any anxiety. And when I said those words, I was like, oh my gosh, that's what's been going on with me all these years. I've had this horrible nervousness, and, I would get these headaches, and, I couldn't concentrate, and I had ADHD. I was all over the place all the time. And even though I am naturally an introvert. Yes, I am naturally an introvert, but because of my walk with the Lord, I've always known that he needs me to come out of myself, and that I wasn't created to be shy, and I wasn't created to be timid. I was created to do things, for the kingdom, and to touch people's lives. And so at this stage in my life, I'm 53 years old, and so I really feel like I'm starting the second half of my life, and I'm really excited because I'm really allowing God to take me to that place. And so here we are. So I've been on this journey with Plexus, right? I had my first launch party. I invited 30 people, 28 people came, 5 people signed up. That kind of started my business a little bit. But I was still fearful. I was fearful to reach out to people. I didn't want anyone to think that I was trying to sell them something, even though I knew that these products were life-changing for me and for my family and all my friends. And so I just kept that shyness. But here recently, it seems like, it was in April that I cut my hair, and so I cut my hair off. It was like my biggest fear. And so my thing to you is this: whatever your fear is, face that fear, that biggest fear that you have, face it. Because once you can get past that, you'll really be able to see some things about yourself that God's been trying to get you to step out into yourself about, and you just haven't. And so I think when you face that, there's nothing else out there that's really that much more fearful, except I realized that I had one more thing, and that was my chicken list. That was the people that I really wanted to approach, but was fearful to do so. So I just decided I'm going to reach out to them, and I'm just going to be me. And so, what got me to take that action is just to realize that life is short. These products are great. People they want to hear what you have to say. And so I just decided I was just going to do it. So to keep this simple, basically what we're talking about, I told Jana that, when I first started, I was like a sponge. I wanted to learn everything, and I'm sure that's probably what y'all want to do. You want to learn everything, and we're all about self-growth. You have to grow in yourself to be able to help somebody else grow, right? But there's so much information out there, like she said, that you just really need to find who you are and work from there. And so for me, I just had to do it. I'm such a planner. I write everything down. I analyze it. And there's a saying that says, paralyze till you, or what is it? Analyze till you paralyze, right? And that used to be me, because I would have the perfect plan, planned it out, but I wasn't walking in it. And then when I got to it, I would get very fearful. So I don't know, just one day I just said, this is ridiculous. Stop, And so I just decided I was just going to do it. So here is what I do to just do it. And I'm keeping it simple because now I'm growing a team. There are people that are joining my team that actually want to do the business. I have a lot of customers, and I have a lot of ambassadors that are wholesale ambassadors. And I don't ever, pressure them to do the business. I let them know that the opportunity is there, and if they ever decide to join me, that great, we'll go places. But the ones that are on my team that want to do a business, the very first thing that I teach them is that it's about a team. It's not just about one person, but about a team. So my IPAs, my income producing activities that I do on a daily basis, they always start out with the Lord. Everything that I do always stems from Him. I can't stress that enough for me. I give everything to Him, and I pray about every person that's on my team, and I pray for every person that's coming to the team. And then, so I always follow up with my customers and my ambassadors on a regular basis, and I reach out to at least 3 to 5 new people a day. So that's something new that I didn't do before. So I reach out, and so we have to reach out. Like, it's not going to, you may have some people that will reach out to you from you posting and from you sharing out, but really, honestly, you just have to do the work. You just have to reach out to people. You really do. You just need to, and you need to listen. When people are talking to you, be a good listener and hear what they're saying. And then that gives you an opportunity to share with them what the products have been doing for you or for somebody else if you know that that's going to help them. And so come from a sincere place in your heart. I think that when you are sincere and you come from a place of really caring about people and loving people, I think that you will come off as that sincere person, and they will see that. I have talked to so many people that I haven't talked to in a long time, that have reached out and wanted to be my friend from high school. I wasn't even the person that when I got on Facebook that I would even friend people, because I felt like, oh, I don't want to have to ask if I can be their friend. Like, that was so weird to me. And so every person that has been my friend, they've asked to be my friend. I've never reached out to anyone to be their friend. Very rarely have I done that unless I needed to for something, And so that's how shy I was. But when you just genuinely be who you are, people will see. They'll see that. And so I think you just really need to step into yourself. So on a daily basis, like I said, I follow up with my ambassadors and my customers on a different time schedule. I try to find out what's going on in their life and be part of their life, because really, these are the people that you're going to be doing life with. Really, if you think about it, I mean, they're coming onto your team as customers, and you're there for them. So you want to have a relationship with them. And then I reach out to my chicken list. Like, that's the first thing I do. Who are the people that I'm really scared to reach out to? And then I just reach out to them from conversations that we've had. We have a great sampling system now. And that is a great way to reach out to people that have been on your list for a while, or that have maybe reached out to you. Or maybe you've had a conversation and you know that this particular product is going to help them. And you can reach out to them and say, hey, we have a new sampling system now, and I know that you struggle with such and such and such. Would you like to try the product? So just love people. It's basically what I'm doing. I'm just loving them, and I'm just doing it. And when the Lord brings a person to my mind, I really feel like that's coming from Him. And I just reach out to them and ask them how they're doing, and we talk, and it never fails. They will always say, they will share with me maybe some things that are going on in their life that I can help them with, either spiritually or, with their health, or even with the business opportunity. And so God always opens that up. And so be sensitive to always just write people's names down and remember them in your prayers, and how God's going to bring them up for you to reach out to. So when He does that, I reach straight out. I don't have a list of people that I was going to reach out to and planned it out. I don't do that anymore. I just do it. So like she said, I am rebuilding my team, and I really want to keep it simple. And so what I'm doing with my team that has just started is I'm adding them to this group, to the Rockin Ambassador group. I am adding them to my customer group, because in my customer group, I try to educate on the products, and I try to, do things in there that are going to help them to be better with their products and stuff, with exercise and I used to do interviews a lot. I haven't done those in a while, but I want to go back to doing some of those and just testimonies and stuff like that. I add them to the ambassador group that I just started, and it's specifically for the ones that are my runners that want to go. And I'm, helping them through that group. And then I add them to the Plexus Ambassador Community group, because they need to be part of that group. We're trying to plug them in, not just to ourselves and to our group, our team, but we want to also connect them to the rest of the Plexus One team. And then, of course, the Rockin Testimonials. So let me tell you, that Rockin Testimonial group, that right there is the simplest thing that you can do. But I'll get to that in just a second. After I add them to those groups, I set time with them to teach them about their back office. I think that's really important. So I spend one-on-one time with them, usually on the phone, and I have, some of them have different schedules. So right now I'm trying to reblock my time, because I also have a lot of volunteering that I do in my community. And so I'm trying to reblock that. But it's important to me that I walk with my new ones hands-on and just walk them through the steps. And so I'm trying to schedule, power hours so that we can walk through those and just really help them to come up with, basically just I will be the example of how to do it with another, with a prospect or a potential person for them. So I teach them the back office, and then I teach them the ATM method. So the ATM method is so easy. It's add them to your Rockin Testimonial group, and then tag them, go in there and find some areas that they may be struggling with that's going to help them see somebody else's story in themselves. And then after that, I messaged them after that. But by doing that, they are actually seeing, they become believers in the products themselves. They begin to believe in the product and be able to see hope where they didn't have hope before. And so that every person that I've signed up has gone through that testimonial, that Rockin testimony. So I would want to encourage you to use the ATM method if you haven't been using it. And then after that, I also share with them back in the training center in your back office, we use the resource library, and I share with them the 3-step sharing system where you can send videos and product, about opportunities and stuff like that. And then I share with them, for them to tell their story or tell somebody else's story. That's step 2 in that system back there. And then the invite, step 3. So if you happen to have an event or a Plexus call like this, or from the Plexus community when they're doing their product calls, or if you have a challenge or something like that, then learn how to invite them to that. I'm trying to keep it really simple because you know what? It's just a matter of just getting out and talking to people, really. And this is just a really great tool to help you get information to them, because not everybody knows all the ingredients. Not everyone knows everything about everything. And so from the very get-go, you don't have to. Plexus is so good about putting these tools. So I want to encourage you to use them. Use the Rockin Testimonial Group as tool number 1. Really tool number 1 should be, reach out to your upline, right? And work with them on 3-way calls and stuff like that. But the add, tag, and message, that's the second thing. And then I would say, get to know who your friends are, your friends are your Plexus One team. Your friends are, first off, if you're a believer, God's going to be your first friend, your family, your church. Who are your cheerleaders in your life? Be accountability partners with them. The Plexus One team, the Plexus One team is your upline, it's your downline, it's your sideline, it's the corporate office. Now it's the Rockin Testimonial Group. That's another part of that. And then your back office, and self-growth is your friend. So we're going to spend a lot of time in self-growth, I am sure. Block that time out, though. But the first thing that you should do is just do income-producing activities, which is basically reach out to people, get to know people, and just talk to them and give them the solution. And don't be fearful about it. Just go out and be you. That's the only thing that's changed in my journey from then until now. And I really didn't really start reaching out to people till a few months ago. It just really seemed to have happened like maybe a month before I cut my hair. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, I just got really crazy and started reaching out to people and talking to people and encouraging people. And even inactive ambassadors that are on my team, we're doing this launch event coming up on the 20th. And I'm trying to encourage them to just reach out to people that they know, because you don't ever know. And I've talked to so many people that I didn't really think would come, would even want to have anything to do with Plexus, and are. So, and your post, let your Facebook post really be authentically about who you are, and let them get to know who you are and just be you. So I'm just trying to step into me, so step into you, and that's the best advice that I can give.
Marisa, I love what you said to me today on the phone when you said that you went back to a lot of your wholesale people, or even people that were coming back and using the products again, or like brand new people that just signed up for wholesale, and you were just like really bold about it, and you just told them, like, I know you told me you don't want to work the business, but what if we talked to some people that and got them on the products and you made a paycheck? Like, you wouldn't really be, working the business, but you would be helping people, and you wouldn't mind a few extra dollars to help you pay for your products.
Exactly. And so some of them that I've been talking to got really excited about that. I just said, if you just refer some people, I'll help you. We can talk to them, and, you'll get compensated for that. And so a lot of people that I've talked to are excited about that. And so it's just my amount of time that I'm putting out to train those people that are excited about that. I am purposely blocking those out. And so now that I'm adding that to my other life, which is, like I said, I do a lot of volunteering in different areas. And so I'm just trying to realign that. But my heart has always been to encourage people to step into who God created them to be. And in order for you to do that, you have to be healthy. And if you really do care about other people, then you're going to reach out to them. And that fear is going to go away because we have a mission. We have a mission, and God has a mission for each and every one of us. And together, as a team, we can do that. That's one of the cultural things that I'm trying to build when my newest ones just came on, is that we are going to do this together. Not one person is going to get left behind. And so I am being diligent about reaching out to them and making sure that we speak every week and we get them through this hurdle of any kind of fear or any kind of insecurities that they may feel. And so I'm trying to work on building them as leaders from the very beginning. I just want to help them get rid of their fears and just plunge into being a leader, because that's all a part of what the impact that you're going to leave in this world as a result of being able to reach every single person requires you to be a leader, requires you to lead in such a way that others are going to follow you. And so I'm trying to help them with that in our ambassador group that I set up.
Yeah, that's, like, I took 2 pages of notes, but so, like, I learned so much from you, Marisa. Every time we talk, I learn so much from you. But I love what you said about the Rockin Testimonies. That's such a great group, and I really appreciate Rod. He's on the call for doing that. He puts so much time into putting those testimonies in there. And today, and all the things you're saying are reminding me of the things that are important with this. And the things that are important, you cannot build a business without being passionate and believing in the products. And so I feel like our company is a little bit different than some of the other companies out there, because we build our whole business is built on product lovers. Because our comp plan is not based on team volume, it's based on like activity, like actual product usage, mostly of our distributors. I mean, we get paid a lot on our customers, but we don't get paid on our team. On our team, we get paid when they go active.
Yeah.
So the best way I can tell you to create residual income, like long-term residual income, is to build a whole team of product lovers. And the way to do that is to believe in the products yourself. Everyone on this call has a story. Mm-hmm. We all have a story of what the products have done for us. But if you're constantly immersing yourself and reading the testimonies in the Rockin Testimony group, it will give you so much more belief. Yes. in stories that don't, maybe you haven't seen those personally for yourself, or you haven't seen those on your team, because Plexus helps with a lot of different things. And so today I was reminded, I was at a brunch for something totally opposite, but it was somebody from our team that was doing this, and there were a lot of people there that weren't on Plexus yet. And so I was talking to them about what I do, and they were asking questions about what do I do. And when I share my story and I share what the products have done for me, and then I hear other people, what they're going through, and I think about how the biggest thing we have is to share. Like, we don't have to have inventory. We don't have to have parties. And that's what I was telling the people today. I was like, that's the greatest thing about it. First of all, it's cheap to sign up. All you have to do is pay for your own products. But basically, you're not a salesperson. Like, I don't sell things. I don't even feel comfortable selling to somebody. Yeah. It's just sharing in whatever way that you come in contact with people. If that's on social media, if that's on Facebook, Instagram, texting, your whatever social outlet you have, whether that's school or church or wherever you are, it's just a matter of you sharing the passion for the products. And the opportunity comes after that, because once you start making a check, you want other people to make a check too. Exactly. And like Marisa, like you said, a lot of people, most people join this company with no intention of working the business. Most people.
I was that person.
And you know why that is? You know, one time I was at a jewel training when they first started, and this was probably 4 years ago. And we were sitting there where there were probably 80 people in the room. And the lady, the trainer asked, she said, how many people in here joined for the products and didn't have any intention of doing the business? And I guarantee you 75 out of those 80 raised their hand.
Yeah.
It was shocking because I didn't know that statistic at the time. And that statistic right there should tell you how great our products are. Because if that many people join and then start working the business because the products work, then you know the products work.
Yes.
And so I always tell people, you know, if you really want to create the residual income, you create a team of product lovers. Because if you create product lovers, they're going to want to share the products with people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's easy to share something you love. So if anything else, immerse yourself into stories of other people's. Listen to their stories. Listen to what the products have done for them until you get passionate enough to where, like today, I'm sitting with these two ladies, and one of them's telling me that she has bad circulation, high blood pressure, cholesterol. She could barely walk to her kitchen. She doesn't sleep very well. And I'm just like all over her I'm wanting to, like, you know, feed her the triplex. and you know, and I'm just like, I want you to feel better. And I know these products can make you feel better if I can get you to take them. So that's all this business is wanting other people to feel better, getting them to be consistent with their products long enough to where they actually feel better, and then they want to share.
Yeah. And it can be really simple in your verbiage. And that's another thing in that sharing system. If you'll go in your back office, there are scripts back there that can help you come up with your own script. You may not, you know, and it's great, but you know, it can be so simple. It's very, very simple. And you just ask them, well, you know what, we were a couple weeks ago, it's been a couple months actually. We were at this appointment place, and I overheard these three women. They were talking about their health. And I don't know if I told you this or not, but anyway, they were talking about their health and diabetes and stuff like that. And so oh my gosh, that was the first time that I've ever reached out to a stranger, that I felt God pushing me, and I'm like, no. And he's like, go. And I'm like, okay. So I said, I'm sorry. I overheard y'all talking about, you know, like, y'all are great friends, aren't you? Because they were like cracking up and everything. And they're like, yeah, we've been friends for 20-something years, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, my friend here, you know, she's been going through this and that and that. And I'm like, okay. Well, I said, yeah, I kind of overheard that. I said, you know, I'm having an event. It was when the doctors came on. Remember? Mm-hmm. They came on and we did that live video anyway. And so I just basically said, I kind of overheard y'all. I said, I'd love to invite you to a health, a live streaming for health and wellness that could possibly help you with some of the things that you were talking about. Would you be open for me sending you a link to that? And they're like, yes, that would be great. So I Facebooked it, you know, we became friends, and then I sent them the link. Now, none of them have joined yet, but I go back to them and I ask them, would you still like me to keep you on my list? And they're like, yes, please keep me on my list. And so I've reached out to a lot of people that tell me to keep them on the list, and you just go back to them. But it's just as simple as saying, you know, hey, I heard this, or I really believe that this may be able to help you. Would you be open to get some information? And that's all you need to do. And then it falls on them, and that removes that fear if you can just come up with that verbiage.
That and we're going to wrap this up because we're going over time, but that is such a great tip, Marisa. I'm so glad you said that about the list thing, because I've shared this with many people on the team. But if there's ever a time where you just have reached out to somebody and you just don't know what else to say because they tell you they're going to join and then they don't, or they tell you they're going to order and they don't, it is really great to say, you know, I know you've expressed some interest, but you haven't ordered yet. Do you want me to stop following up, or would you like me to keep you on my list for future, any, you know, new products or, you know, discounts or anything like that? 99% of people don't want to be taken off a list. So most of the time, they're not ever going to want to be taken off the list. Once they give you that permission, then you can put them on your calendar to follow up on a regular basis. And then they're more open to it because they've just opened that door for you to have them on your list.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up, you guys. Marisa, I love everything you said. Thank you so much. You're such an inspiration to me. Always full of joy, always full of passion and knowledge too. And so I'm so appreciative that you came on the call and shared with all of us. After the call, as usual, in the Rockin' group, I'm going to put an after the call post. If you guys would share your notes, something that you took away from the call, I would really appreciate it. You guys are so good at that because you're such great note takers, and you're always so appreciative of our guests that spend their time coming on the call. All the guests love to hear what you learned from them or what you got inspired by. And so if you would take the time, just a few minutes, to write down a takeaway or something that you got inspired by, we would so appreciate it. It also shows other people that weren't on the call what they're missing, how exciting the calls are. It may be somebody that's on your team, maybe a wholesale ambassador that you've added to the Rockin' group and they've never been on a call before, and they see suddenly all these comments saying, oh my gosh, that was such a great call, thank you so much, I was so inspired. You never know what that's going to inspire in somebody else. So really appreciate when you guys do that, and I will put that right after this call so that you guys can put what you took away from the call. Thank you so much for being on tonight. You guys have a great weekend, and we will see you in 2 weeks. And
take action. Take action.
Take action. And I will also put those links in the comment after the call post. I'll put those links for the training calendar. And Marisa, if you have any links that you want to share or any information, or if you have any questions for Marisa, you can post those there too. So thank you, Marisa, so much for coming on, and I will see you next week.
Okay, bye y'all.
Bye guys, love y'all.